Ohayo gozaimasu! Welcome again back to One Fair Review, YouTube's #1 review channel, still making reviews for all of you to enjoy. I'm your host Grant, as always, and today we're looking at Zombie Land Saga. This show is directed by Munehisha Saki, and now a little bit of details before we get started into the review. So it's a typical morning. This is a summary of the story that we always start out with. A typical morning, the usual music, their normal lives, the peace these 7 girls experience will suddenly be destroyed by the living dead, zombies. A reality that they never wanted a part of, and an amazing and terrifying zombie world. They all share one wish. We want to live! These girls will struggle through this saga in order to achieve a miracle, by becoming idols to save Saga. Starring award-winning voice actors such as the legendary Miyano Maurno as Tatsui, one of the greatest characters this season, to be honest. Next up, Hando Kaide as Minamoto Sakura, and then of course we got Tano Asumi as Saki, Mitsuishi Kotone as the legendary Yamanda Tai, Tanaka Minami as Lily, Kawase Maki as Kono Junko, Tanada Risa as Mizo Uno Ai, and finally Kiyugawa Rika as Yuguri. Okay, so getting on to the review of Zombie Land Saga. This was a show that came out of quite literally nowhere. It was a show that nobody really knew about. There was no real advertisement of. They just said that there was a show called Zombie Land Saga, and everybody went to go check it out and was surprised at what they had seen. You see, when I originally saw this show, I was actually expecting a zombie series, a Zombie Land Saga. I did not expect them to be actually talking about the saga prefecture of Japan. I expected it to be, well, a saga, as in, like, you know, the Star Wars saga, the Lord of the Rings saga. So I kind of expected it to be a series of stories, short stories, maybe about a bunch of girls, maybe. I don't know. I didn't really know what to expect. But instead, what you get is a bunch of zombie girls that have been reanimated by a guy by the name of Tatsui, and he wants them to become idols to save Saga. Save Saga from what? Something I'm sure of. But anyways, how's the story? The story is pretty good. I can't say it's amazing, but it is really, really good. Very entertaining. The story's pretty much that these girls are kind of stuck being zombies, and they have to depend on each other and work together to become the best idols in Saga to save it. And the funny thing about this story is that a lot of the show actually does take you to real life places in Saga, and in a way it kind of advertises these places a lot, especially this one episode which takes place in Drive-In Tori, which goes through the entire, like, restaurant in a way. It goes through the commercial. It shows you the person in charge, who I believe is the actual voice actor, because he sucked in this show. And they even say the food's amazing. Oh, come down here, and then they do the commercial, and it's just great. They replicate the actual real life commercial. So in a very strange way, it does seem like this is an advertisement for Saga to get more people to come there, more tourists, I guess. I don't know. But taking that aside, the story is very entertaining. I really did not expect an idol show to be one of my favorites this season of anime. I'm kind of tired of idol shows, but this one was really unique and had a really unique story, a unique concept, unique themes, and all around was just very entertaining to watch. The story was great. I was invested each episode, and this was one of the few shows this season where every week when an episode came out, I had to watch it. I could not wait to see it. In terms of characters, I have to say Zombieland Saga by far has my favorite characters of this season. And my favorite character this season was Tatsumi. Tatsumi is this amazing, just amazing man. Oh, he's a joy to listen to. He's one of my favorite characters I've seen in anime as of recently. And, you know, it's not because he's really in-depth. He's very mysterious, very weird, and I really love his character, his personality, his accent, the way he messes around, the way he's a complete jerk. He's a creep. He's this weirdo. Like, he's so mysterious. He's so weird. He's so crazy. I can't help but love his crazy nature and his crazy attitudes, and all the stuff that he does to the girls and puts them through is just a joy to watch. I absolutely love this character. He makes the show for me. And that's not to say that the other characters aren't great as well. All of them are really good. Sakura is the main character in a way. She's the first one to wake up from her zombieism, and then you get introduced to the rest of the characters. She's not my favorite character in the show, but she is very enjoyable. I did root for her, and I did feel bad for her at certain points. I'm not going to spoil too much of the show. In fact, I'm not going to spoil anything. But there are some other characters I also really like. Saki was one of my personal favorites. I loved her accent of all things. I loved how she talked, how she was this biker chick from the past who died in a pretty hilarious way, might I add. And I loved her character the most. I thought she was really funny next to Tatsumi. And all the characters are really good. Junko, Ai, Yugiri, Tai, especially Tai. All of them are really great, and all of them do have their focused episodes. They each get to have an episode to themselves for the most part. Not all of them, unfortunately. I'm not going to spoil which ones don't. But they all work together, and they're all really well voice acted by terrific voice actresses who actually are idols in real life. So you will hear some singing in this show. I'm just going to let you guys know you will hear singing, but I'll talk more about that in the music segment of this episode. Next up, presentation. First, let's start with the animation of the show. The animation of the show is really, really good. Now, at times there is 3D animation, and something I've mentioned before is I don't like 3D animation. It's never really been that good for me. Sometimes they get it right, like Fate Stay Night, where they blend it very well. And I can think of a few shows that have done it very, very well. However, here, at first I thought it was kind of a parody when they did a few scenes in CG 3D animation, but they're not. They do it quite frequently. But it doesn't stick out that much, and it's not that troubling. The rest of the show is very funny, very charismatic. All the characters are charismatic. All the characters are charming. And it really doesn't take away from the overall experience. Overall, I thought the animation was very nice, very pretty animation. A lot of it was really, really good, very colorful, very watercolored at times as well, especially the outro to this show, which is actually very nice to listen to, might I add. And the opening to the show is actually especially good with its clear homage to the Super Sentai of the 80s in a way. It looks really, really corny and really great. I love the intro. It's probably one of my favorite ones this season. Now, in terms of music, Zombie Land Saga has its fair share of terrific, terrific music in their soundtrack. I'm definitely going to buy the soundtrack if this does come out at a later date, because not only do they have clear themes that are actually really good in the background, but of course they do have, musical numbers. This is an idol show after all, so they do perform musicals, and all the music's really good. It doesn't get in the way, it doesn't ruin the story, it does play a part. Sometimes it's very upbeat, very cool. Sometimes it's very heartwarming and, heartbreaking at times, but it's always good. There's always quality, and I did really enjoy the music that this show had to offer, and the girls did a really good job at doing so. So, all in all, what did I think about the show? The show is a great comedy. It's got great comedy all around, great comedic gags, great slapstick, great just humor, sarcasm, anything you can imagine. There is great humor here. The characters, they're all fantastic. All of them are very likable. All of them are very relatable, except for Tatsumi, who is just a great, great character to begin with. I absolutely love that man. I wish he was real. I would hang out with that man every day. And he is an award-winning voice actor, by the way. So, that does add to the charm. The animation is very good. The soundtrack is terrific. I believe the soundtrack's terrific, with great animation complementing it. So the show's presentation is terrific. The characters, terrific. The story is wonderful, very charming. And all in all, this was a fantastic, fantastic show to watch. I absolutely loved Zombie Land Saga, and I really can't say I have any complaints about it. It's probably my favorite show of this season. It's that good. It's so funny. It's got terrific, terrific episodes. None of them are misses for me. I loved it. I was invested the whole way through. And like I said, I really can't think of any complaints for it. So my final verdict for Zombie Land Saga is going to have to be a 10 out of 10. I really do recommend people watch this show. Even if you're not really into idol shows or you're tired of idol shows, this one's very different. It's unique in its style, in its characters, in its presentation, its themes, its story. It's just so different and so unique. And it needs to be seen. It's a great comedy. It's got great music, great characters, great development. Everything about this show I absolutely loved, and I do recommend, if you have Crunchyroll, to go out and watch this show. Well, anyways, that's it for me. I'm Grant for One Fair Review. As always, have a nice day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll come back next time with more reviews. Hopefully Aquaman comes out soon, so I could either tear it apart or say it's amazing. Next time.